again with some betting picks for you for June 30th. No Coast Fantasy Sports. We had a pretty solid day today. Pretty wild day for NBA. The NBA playoffs have been pretty out of control. Like, expect the unexpected. Anything you think can happen can happen. Giannis went down today. I think the Hawks are going to win this series now. Like, the Hawks bench with Trae Young down completely stepped up. Lou Williams really balled out. Bogdanovich. Like, the replacements that we thought were going to happen and step up with Trae Young being out ended up happening. So that paid off solid for us before lock once we got the Trae Young news. So it ended up working out. But let's get it going. For MLB, we ended up going to 1-1-2. Kind of weird day. With Miami losing that first half to Philly. Same with the Red Sox versus KC. Brewers beat the Cubs, and then the A's pushed with the Texans. So for the 30th, we got St. Louis over Arizona. Kim's got a 3.98 ERA. He's 1-5. Of Martin's 0-3. He's 10.69 ERA. Nice. STL is the better overall team, in my opinion. I just think they're a better hitting team. They should win the matchup in this first half. Brewers over Cubs again. Burns got a 2.53 ERA. He's 3-4. Arrieta's 5-8. He's got a 5.32 ERA. Milwaukee's been playing well versus the Cubs. They've kind of had their number recently, and Arrieta hasn't been pitching well in the matchup. So I like Burns there. The Angels over the Yankees. Ohtani's a monster. 3-1, 2.58 ERA. German's 4-5 with a 4.32 ERA. Ohtani's only allowed 6 home runs, whereas German's allowed 14. I think Angels should take it here. Ohtani's just a monster. MVP all the way. I like the Mets versus the Braves. Walker's got a 2.38 ERA. He's 6-3. Fried's 4-4 with a 4.2 ERA. So I like the Mets there. The Texans over the Astros over Baltimore. Garcia's got a 2.83 ERA. He's 6-4. Harvey's 3-9 with a 7.54 ERA. Harvey's allowed 12 home runs, whereas Garcia's only allowed 9. So I like that matchup there for Houston. They've been hammering the Orioles. And then the A's over the Texans. Bassett's 8-2. He's got a 3.25 ERA. Allard's 2-3 with a 3.33 ERA. Bassett's allowed 9 home runs out of 99 innings pitched, so basically like every 1 home run for 11 innings. Whereas Allard's allowed 6 home runs with 46 innings pitched, so he basically allows 1 in every 7.5 innings. So a little bit better of a matchup there for the A's, so I like going to Bassett. For the NBA, as I stated, we got destroyed on NBA. We had the Bucks. I thought that the matchup was going to be good, especially waiting on the news for Trae Young going down, trying to hit the line right before it shifted. I even tried getting ahead of the news a little bit, and then we kind of doubled down on it. And we paid the price. No prop hit aside from Holiday, and then just the Bucks got hammered by the bench of the Hawks. Everyone from the Hawks stepped up with Trae Young being out. It was a complete full team effort. Hats off to them. They played completely great. Like I said, I think they're going to win the series. We'll lock it in now. Like, I think the Hawks are going to win the series, especially with Giannis banged up with his knee now. And if Trae Young comes back in next game after 3 days rest, I think that's enough time for him. I don't think 2 days rest is enough time for Giannis, especially since he's been dealing with some soreness on that side since the Nets series. So the Hawks might sneak it in. They're going to surprise a lot of people. But for the 30th, we got the Suns. They were plus money, like right when I put the bet in, and then right before I checked it, right before I checked this, right before I recorded this, and they moved down to 104. So the line already shifted a little bit in our favor. They're 52% to win based on the sim. As far as some props, so I like the Chris Paul under 19.5 and minus 114. Paul George over 30.5 minus 108. Pat Bev over 6.5 minus 135. Booker over 2.5 threes plus 152. That's crazy. He should be like plus 3.5. And then I know this sounds crazy and it's a wild narrative, but there's something you have to take in gambling is wild narratives. Every time Reggie Jackson wears the tinted shades in warm-ups, that's the sign, because that's pretty much the last time to lock in player props. He always puts up over 20 points. So his prop tomorrow is scheduled for over 20 and a half. Watch the warm-ups. If Reggie Jackson is wearing the black tinted shades, lock in the over for over 20 and a half because he's probably going to hit it. Every time he's worn that, I've noticed it and I've made jokes about it. And I feel I just need to start riding this because it's been happening every time. So I'm putting it down. I'm going to it. Next, we got Game 2 of the Stanley Cup. I like the Lightning. They're super heavy favorites. They slaughtered the Habs, though. They're minus 220. It's really heavy. I mean, what else can you say based on what happened last game? If you think the Habs can pull off the upset at home, take the Habs. There's no football until Friday. There's soccer, and we say in the Americas. But we did hit the clean sweep, all in regulation, with all the England draw no bet, the over, and then Sweden, and then under. Then we got tennis. Tennis, we went 5-3. I did have a hedge bet onto Korda, so I did check some of my past bettings, and then I did see that I had bet on Korda a bit at the last tournament he was in. So I decided just to hedge this a little bit with some of the opposite ends, and we had a pretty solid day. Two of the matches that we talked about yesterday are going to be going on the 30th between Duckworth and Andreescu. So we're going to get it going with the matches for the 30th. So first off, we got Aljaz Badin versus Corentin Moutet. Minus 126 for Medine. 55% to win based on the sim. 75% to win 3-1. So I like those odds there. Grigor Barrère versus Botic Van de Zee. He's minus 184. 63% based on the sim. 72% to win 3-0. Aslan Karatsev versus Jeremy Chardy. Jeremy Chardy is solid, but Karatsev is a very up-and-coming player. He's ranked 24 in the world going into the tournament, so he's pretty solid. Chardy was not ranked. Karatsev's minus 166, 63% to win based on the sim, 71% to win 3-0. Leslie Serenko versus Yulia Petunsteva. These names are European players, just drive me, man. Minus 154 for Serenko, 60% to win based on the sim, 62% to win 2-0. Sam Querrey versus Pablo Carreno Busta, minus 138, 55% to win based on the sim, 75% to win 3-1. Ajlat Tomjamovic versus Greet Minin, minus 146, 60% to win based on the sim, 60% to win 2-1 or 2-0. I'm sorry for Ajla. Joe Winfried Sanka versus Mikael Ymer, minus 106, 52% based on the sim, and then 77% to win 3-1. So I thought that was pretty offset based on the data there. And I know that in the last video from yesterday, a couple people brought to my attention, some of the data isn't, there's not enough data compiled for a lot of the sims to be like as accurate as they should be. So I think this might be one of those situations as well. But I think I like Sunga there still. Marcos Giron versus Emil Rusevori, minus 158 for Giron, 60% to win based on the sim, 74% to win 3-0. Vitalia Dyashenko versus Emma Raducanu. Say that 5 times fast. Vitalia's minus 162, 63% to win based on the sim, 56% to win 2-0. Steve Johnson versus Dennis Novak. Johnson's minus 142, 55% to win based on the sim, 77% to win 3-1. Then last, we got Francis Tiafoe versus Vasek Potsopisil. Tiafu is minus 110, 55% to win based on the sim. He's 75% to win 3-0. So I like that tomorrow for tennis. And then lastly, we got DFS going on for FanDuel single game. So we got no longer pandemic P. We got to put the respect on him. Playoff P is back. Paul George been completely balling out. MVP most likely should be the number one spot you should play him in tomorrow. I mean, you can obviously rotate him around and be different. At 16K, we got Devin Booker, MVP Star Pro at 14.5. DeAndre Ayton, MVP Star Pro at 14 even. Chris Paul, I'm going to probably play him with the Star Pro. I wouldn't play him at the MVP tomorrow with these options. At 14K, Reggie Jackson, Star Pro at 12.5. Marcus Morris, he's viable at the Pro Utility at 11K. Mikal Bridges, Pro Utility at 10K. Terrence Mann, Pro Utility at 9,500. And then Pat Bev, Pro Utility at 9K. Pat Bev's been balling out, and I think a sneaky game out of Terrence Mann is due for the Clippers at home tomorrow. DeMarcus Cousins. So DeMarcus Cousins will probably get some run tomorrow if Ivica Zubac is still out. He didn't play the last game. He was a scratch, and then we had a monster DeMarcus Cousins game at the last minute. So people that were obviously able to take advantage of that ended up paying off. There were about like 2,000 people, I believe, that split the 100K to first on FanDuel. So keep on that news if DeMarcus Cousins does start. He's definitely viable for some Star Pro or utility slots tomorrow, especially with him being a very solid value at 8K. I don't think this is something that FanDuel necessarily had on their radar, so it might be something we need to take advantage of for the field. Jay Crowder, I'll probably pay him at utility tomorrow, 8K. We got some pretty good value in this like middle to low end range with Cousins, Crowder, Johnson, and Campaign tomorrow. It's very interesting. So that leads to Cameron Johnson at 7,500. He's obviously been getting the run. He's been playing very well. Cameron Payne, 7,500. He's obviously going to come out the bench, facilitate, dominate on usage coming off as a sixth man. Luke Kennard, 7,500. He can shoot well, have some decent games. He's been in a bit of a slump though. The last two games hasn't been playing very optimally, at least as he was. And then lastly, we got Dario Saric. So Dario Saric is someone we need to keep an eye on as well. He can correlate positively with DeMarcus Cousins while dodging DeAndre Ayton. So the reason for this is because DeAndre Ayton can end up being put in a foul trouble, getting bullied around in the paint by DeMarcus Cousins. He's a bit more of a physical prowess in the paint, whereas DeAndre Ayton is a bit more taller, a bit more lankier, but DeMarcus Cousins just plays a bit more of a power game for a big man. So that might be something that can get you an edge and kind of open up some more spots to where you can get some Paul George, Devin Booker, and maybe in the Reggie Jackson range. I didn't do any full crunches yet, strictly because projections aren't out, so I can't necessarily get a fully optimized lineup the way I want, but I just have some dummy lineups. But you can definitely get in that range tomorrow. So it's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be a really interesting game in itself. But that's all we got for today, guys. Thanks for watching as always. Thanks for the support. Please like and subscribe. Throw some comments below. Some picks you like, some picks you didn't like. I'll always love to hear it. The support's been coming out. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when all this goes live and everything else. And then thanks for watching. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace out.